إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره، نعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء، واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام، إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد. Praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He's the only one worthy of praise. I seek His help, His guidance, and His forgiveness. I believe in Him and I trust Him. I seek refuge on Almighty Allah from the evil of our passions. Indeed, whomsoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides him to Al-Islam, no one can mislead him after Allah. And whomsoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put him astray, no one can guide him after Allah. I testify, O believers, that there is no deity worthy of worship other than Allah Rabbil Alameen. And I testify that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is his messenger and the seal of all the prophets. O Muslims, you must know that the best speech is the speech of Almighty Allah, which is the Quran. The best guidance is the course of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is his Sunnah. The worst of all affairs is innovation in addition to the religion of Islam. Indeed, every addition to the religion of Islam will lead to hellfire. I adjure you as well as myself to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the best of your ability. Fear Allah, be God conscious, and don't die unless you are in a form of total submission to the will of Almighty Allah. After this, I send a greeting to you. May the peace and the blessing of Almighty Allah be with you all, and welcome to continuation of Belief of the Believers. And inshallah today we are working in segment number 16 from this book called The Belief of the Believer by Muhammad S. Adly of Columbia, South Carolina. We're talking about the behavior and the proper etiquette of believers, because Iman is not only a term, is not a tag, is not a necklace that you wear a necklace and say, I love Allah, and this make you a believer. So faith is action, and you have to demonstrate what you believe. And when you are in the street, where you are home, or in public, when by yourself, whenever, that you always have the belief of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your life. As a result of this, we see that belief deals with our action. Therefore, we see that one of them is maintaining the mosque, or what you call masjid. Masjid is a house of Allah. Allah doesn't need a house in a sense of what you understand a house. That you have, you understand a place that you can stay away from the rain, from the cold weather. We attribute this building, which we gather in, pray in, we call it a mosque or a masjid, a house of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not contains in any place that as a building and you go there, you find him there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is above the seven heaven, is the highest of all places. But when Allah give a label to a place and call it, this is my house, this is the house of Allah, is a honor, a name of honor. Why? Because the activity that goes there is something is pleasing to Allah. So we call it the house of Allah, the mosque, or the masjid, or the musalla, the prayer area, which Muslims they gather together because it's a place for remembrance of Allah, and it's a place for building a relationship between each other and show solidarity that we stand shoulder to shoulder, foot to foot, that doesn't matter if you're rich or you're poor, if you black or white, it doesn't make any difference, okay? And we call it the house of Allah. Does not mean a house like your house, apartment, a place that you contain is to save you from the cold weather. No, it is a honor to give the name to this place. And a Muslim is supposed to be concerned to be in these places as much as he can. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala telling us in the Quran in Surah number 9, verse number 18, إنما يعمر مساجد الله من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر وأقام الصلاة وآتى الزكاة ولم يخش إلا الله فعسى أولئك أن يكونوا من المهتدين. The masajid, which is the plural of masjid, okay? The mosques of Allah shall be visited and maintained by such as believe in Allah, as believe in Allah and the last day, establishing regular prayers, practicing regular charity, and fear none at all except Allah. It is they who are accepted to be on true guidance. So you can have the best building and the best carpet there, but barely nobody there. No classes, no prayer, no meetings, no consultation, okay? We're talking about a place that people, they come at least once a day, not once a week, okay? The mosque in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is been maintained day and night. There's always there is classes, always there is the 5-time prayers. So what is going to make you leave things and go to the mosque is because you believe in Allah, because you believe in the reward of Allah. And the good things about the mosque is also surrounding and full with angels. So when people they have a trouble, when the people have trouble in their life, in their mind, in their thoughts, confusion, uh, things disturbing them, their refuge is what? Is the mosque. Because you go there, it's full with angels. You don't see TV there, you don't need to understand seeing people playing there. It's tranquility. You see the Quran, you see the books you can read, you see the rug you can make prayer. So it's like you may call it a hospital for the heart, for the mind, for the soul. So Allah saying those who maintain the mosque, not only go on Friday, maintain the mosque day and night. Those who believe in Allah, because your belief, I could not see your belief, but I see your action. So your action comes as a result of what you believe in your heart. So if you believe that the mosque is the place that's chosen and selected by Allah, you always try to go there. But if people go to the mosque only on Friday, this is not a They go to the mosque on Friday, but they go to school every day. They go to their jobs every day. So they saying, instead of saying Allahu Akbar, they saying job is Akbar, school is Akbar. If you really believe Allahu is Akbar and greater than anything else, you're supposed to be at least minimum 5 times a day, every day. So Allah is saying that those people who really believe, not a fake belief or say that we believe, they're going to be maintaining the mosque. Keep the mosque clean, keep the mosque occupied, keep prayers there going on, keep classes going on. This is maintaining the mosque. Not have you understand $500,000 for a mosque, and after this, you go, you don't even find anybody. If you found somebody, maybe the imam and the muaddin, because it's this their job. They are not there for ibadah and worship. So if you want to see a sign of faith, love in the mosque. You want to be in the mosque. You want to spend as much. You see, people, they go to mental hospitals, okay? But they did not think about going sit in the mosque, making dhikr of Allah to help their soul. The only thing they know about hospitals. But did you ever try to sit in the house of Allah and be there in the company of the angels? So the Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, maintaining the masajid, building the masajid, visiting the masjid, being there, being active, this is a sign that you believe in Allah and believe in the day of judgment. Okay? They establish in the prayer, they give the obligatory charity, and they fear no one other than Allah. And say, Allah, those are the guided one. Those are the guided one. The more you stay away from Allah, the more you go away. The more you have problems. The more that you try to come towards Allah and do the things that Allah say do it, the more that you're going to find ease in the life, ease in the mind, ease in the heart. This is something very important. We have many masajid. We have cities and towns with many masjid, not only one masjid, but who's there? Who is there? Okay? They may be open Saturday and Sunday. It's almost like a church. Our place of worship is visited every day, open every day, at least for the 5-time prayers. Also, the Iman, point number 9, giving us the trust to rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You see in the Quran, in Surah number 10, verse number 84, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, وَقَالَ مُوسَى يَا قَوْمِ إِن كُنْتُمْ أَمَنْتُمْ بِاللَّهِ فَعَلَيْهِ تَوَكَّلُوا إِن كُنْتُمْ مُسْلِمِينَ. And remember when Moses said to his people, if you really believe in Allah, so put your trust in Him. Okay? Trusting in Allah, that Allah is capable to do anything that you need. Heal you, feed you, make a way for you to solve your problems. So He's saying, if you have the real Iman, فَعَلَيْهِ تَوَكَّلُوا. So in Him, put your trust in Allah. Rely in Allah. And relying in Allah does not mean sitting, doing nothing. Take the means and don't worry about the result, because the result is in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Put your trust in Allah. Also, we find in another surah, or the same surah, the surah number 2, verse 278. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وذروا ما بقي من الربا إن كنتم مؤمنين. You see, repeating again the word mu'min, mu'min, mu'min. So iman is action, is not only a word. So everything, if you are true believer, if you are true believer, so we have to collect all this quality of iman, faith, and they try to practice so we can be these people that Allah promised them these things. He said, يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وذروا ما بقي من الربا إن كنتم مؤمنين. Oh, you believe, fear Allah, be God conscious, and leave alone usury. No, when it comes about money, you don't want to understand, to hear anything about this, because you love the money so much. But Allah is saying, yes, you can have money, but Allah forbid you usury, interest, interest loan, interest given, into anything beyond what is the price, delaying the payment, making installment, and now the price instead of 100 became 150. This is haram. It's a serious sin. Okay? And say, and leave alone dealing with interest if you are a true believer. So again, it's action. Iman is not only a word. It's not a word. Okay? It's a action. You have to do something to be a believer. And these things that you have to do it is not what you like or what you dislike. It's what Allah said, what the Prophet said. But look, there is a serious warning here. It say, and if you don't give up dealing with usury, فإن لم تفعلوا فأذنوا بحرب من الله ورسوله. And if you don't leave dealing with usury, be ready for a war between you and Allah. Wow, this is a serious statement. It's serious. You could not fight against Allah. You could not stand in a battle against Allah. Maybe you can fight with somebody like you, or maybe 2 people, 3 people. But with Allah, so when you break in the rules of Allah, especially about usury, now you are open a gate of the anger of Allah, and that Allah will be is the one who fighting against you. You could not be in a war with Allah. Allah said to leave the usury alone. Don't deal with usury. It's haram. Say, but you understand, everybody have this nice, beautiful car, and I am the imam here, and I have to look, you understand, my car to be matching everybody. No, who said so? It say your fingers are not the same. Your fingers in the same hand, but they are not the same. Subhanallah. Don't stop trying to matching with everybody. If somebody doing something wrong, you're going to match them. Match people in something good. If you see somebody going to the mosque twice a day, you compete and they try to go 3 and 4 times a day. You see? But don't compete with people about dunya stuff, because it's going to lead you away astray from Allah. Otherwise, you are in a war with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is a serious matter. So we want to avoid You can fight with anybody other than Allah, because, and you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, وَمَا يَعْلَمُ جُنُودَ رَبِّكَ إِلَّا هُ. None knows the soldiers of Allah other than Allah. Allah can make a mosquito, see how small it is? It can come inside your eyes or in your ear and make you go crazy, knock you down on the floor. A small little mosquito can go inside your ear. How are you going to take it out? By the time you run to the hospital, you're already crazy. So you could not fight. Never ever try to be in a war against Allah. You won't get in a war with somebody else or something else. It depends what it is for. But when it comes about Allah, you better die and don't get in a war against Allah or with Allah, because Allah say, إِن يَشَأْ يُذْهِبْكُمْ وَيَأْتِ بِخَلْقٍ جَدِيدٍ. If Allah wants and will to remove all mankind and bring about a new creation, He can do so in less than a second. He can remove you all and bring another people who worship Allah better than me and you. So let's inshallah stop here for today. We'll continue the subject with about 6:45 inshallah PM. But think and reflect about these 3 points that we maintained today, or that we mentioned today, especially about dealing with usury, because it's a serious sin and it can get you really, really in trouble. Inshallah, if anybody have any comments or correction, feel free to do so, inshallah. We'll give you a minute or a half, or a minute and a half, in case that you have anything you want to present before I shut the camera off. Iman, faith, is not a jewelry. It's not something you put it around your neck and it looks nice. It's Iman is going to take a lot of sacrifice, a lot of hardship to be a believer, true believer, not any kind of a believer. And it's worthy for us to make all the sacrifice to get Iman, to be a true believer. And Allah had told us, we talked it before, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُدَافِعُ عَنِ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala defend all those who believe. So we have to have the proper belief, and we have to put our belief in action. All right, looking forward to see you again, inshallah, today, if Allah's will, at 6:45 PM Eastern Time. Until I see you, wishing you the best. سبحانك اللهم بحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.